superintendents coordinated closely on this. Of course, Jeffco was the epicenter of the threat, but as it was determined the threat wasn't specific to any one school, and we knew she was present in the metro area, and clearly had developed means to move around from the airport into Littleton up to the foothills of the mountains. There was a concern that any of our schools could be targets until the situation was resolved. So we worked closely with law enforcement, the FBI, state law enforcement. The governor's office was involved. There were a lot of conversations, and collectively we stood together and made the decision to close all of the schools in the metro area today because the threat couldn't be determined. We did begin thinking about if this were to continue, then what? So what would we be doing to mark the next day?
Okay, I'm just gonna let him talk for a little bit because good part coming up. How they break this into 2 videos because video got interrupted by a notification. But let's continue.
I believe that this may not be the first time we see something like this. These things, we see copycat versions of threats and actions more commonly, and so we are developing systems and procedures on how we will react to situations like this in the future. We don't know. We were working on what changes to what school looks like would have to happen for us to be open. We did not wish to have one person hold all of the schools in the Front Range or the whole state hostage. We wanted to have a reaction to that to allow learning and our children's development to happen. So it would have required different...
Okay, I came back late on the video, so I'm gonna fast forward it. I had to stop the video, do something, and the press conference kept going live, so I'm gonna fast forward.
Transportation procedures, different processes we were working. I think, and we'll answer that. That went on every day, briefing, but it.
Frank DeAngelis, who was, of course, the principal at Columbine High School when that shooting happened 20 years ago this week, offering some insight certainly into this week and how this threat played out amid the feelings that people are having on this 20th anniversary of that Columbine shooting. And while that was happening, we actually got brand new details from Clear Creek County. They were holding a news conference with updates at the same time.
Right, and we're just learning from the sheriff out there in Clear Creek County, Rick Alber, we're learning new details about how all of that unfolded, how that suspect was found up there in the mountains, 18-year-old Soul Pais. Let's get out to Fox 31's Drew Engelbart to pick up that end of the story. Drew.
Hey guys, yes, we just talked with the sheriff of Clear Creek County, and he told us that they found Soul Pais with a self-inflicted gunshot wound about a half a mile away from that Echo Lake Lodge where we saw everyone stationed, all these law enforcement vehicles stationed. They're still stationed down there right now, but they said they found her body about a half a mile from that parking lot. We asked, does it appear that she walked or hiked into that area, and the sheriff said yes, it does appear that she walked or hiked by herself into that area and died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. They said that all the law enforcement agencies were led to this area, to that lodge parking lot at about 9 o'clock this morning, thanks to tips from both the community and other law enforcement agencies that led them.
The community supposedly saw her walking. That's 9 a.m. Colorado time, Mountain Pacific time. I don't know, they saw her walking naked in the snow with a shotgun, which you already know that doesn't happen. That's not real.
To this area, and then a search commenced, and it only took them about 30 minutes to find Soul Pais' body. Once again, died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound just about a half a mile away from that parking lot.
So you telling me this fictional character traveled all the way to Colorado, bought a gun, went to this snowy area by Clear Creek, went into this snowy area by some trees and whatnot, and just shot herself naked. She could have did that back in Miami and just shot herself naked, but one of her parents gone. But again, it's a fake story, so it don't make sense. It's not supposed to. They just want the guns, y'all.
Actually 3 miles up the road. It's Colorado 103. Is that correct, Cody? Colorado 103, the road that we take just to get some cell service. So we were able to send back some video for you guys. I don't know if we can go ahead and show some video from that parking lot. That is what the scene looks like. But obviously the scene that they're investigating is about a half mile away from there. So that's where they're focusing their investigation from now. That was closed off. We weren't able to go into that area. We were only able to stay in the parking lot of that lodge area. We did hear from the sheriffs. If we do have that sound for you guys, we can go ahead and play from the sheriff of Clear Creek County. Go ahead and play that, guys.
All right, Rick Albers, Sheriff of Clear Creek County. Last name spelling is Albers. This is Under Sheriff Bruce Snelly. This morning at about 9 o'clock, we met here with our tactical team, following up on leads from the young lady that was threatening from Florida. We come up here, we put in a search team. There's actually a lot of buildings back in here that are owned by CU. There's a CU school back here, so we were checking all those. Tactical team was able to locate a female party, which we believe to be Sol Pais, and with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. We are now having our investigators.
Again, she just walked into that area with a bunch of snow just to shoot herself. She did all that traveling. Went to go buy a gun just to go travel in a snowy area naked and shoot herself. Right, all right. And how are they going to get gun control out of this if no students died? Or if no fake students died, or no shooting? They're going to ask for the age limit to be raised. Or then they're not going to ask, they're going to force the limit to be raised because they already got the bill in place. Just by the story of that, she didn't have to shoot nobody in this movie. Just her buying a gun at 18 and them connecting her to Columbine, saying she was crazy, saying this fictional character was crazy. Then them making that fake website she has, or that fake website they have up about her with all this notebook manifesto stuff. That's going to be enough for them to persuade you that it's okay for them to take your rights and raise the gun age, and really just to take your rights, really. It's all to persuade you, to show you that we're doing this because of this. Again, order out of chaos.
Go into the scene. FBI is going to be coming up with their investigation team.
I'm in the video after this interview by the sheriff. Sheriff just going back and forth rocking. Really no enthusiasm by him. Really nothing. Just talking his talking points.
And follow up on the scene up there. So really that's all I can tell you. She has been located. She is deceased. And right now there's a lot of stuff still under investigation by FBI, us, until the conclusion.
Tell us how far.
Okay, later in the news, today or tomorrow, only thing they're going to investigate is how she was able to buy a gun. That's it. And they're going to throw some more restrictions at Colorado. They're going to hit Colorado so hard with gun restrictions, it's going to be crazy. Mark my words, you're going to see it on TV. If you research it, if you don't see it on TV about the coming gun laws to Colorado, trust me, you're gonna hear about it. Because this story not over. They got to push the gun control now. They got to tell you what kind of gun control they bring in to Colorado.
She's within a half mile of where we're standing.
And what led you here?
Tips. We're following up on tips.
Tips from the community or within the FBI?
Both FBI community.
And was she by herself?
Yes. As well, as far as we can tell, she's by herself now.
What time?
We got up here at 9 o'clock and we located her approximately 9:54.
More investigation to be done, but is the threat to schools, do you consider it over?
9:54, 9 plus 5 plus 9 plus 4. Anyway, if you do 5 plus 4, that's 9. That's 18. I don't like doing that numerology crap. Now, the Bible says don't mess with that numerology crap. You can see with your own eyes and ears when something a falsehood or when you're being hoodwinked. You can see with your own eyes, hear with your own ears. Let's get back to the video.
We believe it is resolved at this time.
Talk about question. Can you tell us more about the area where she was up there when it's like?
Just isolated off trail. I mean, you can look around anywhere here. It's pretty much the same thing.
Did it appear that she walked there, hikes there?
She appeared to walk. We followed tracks.
Do you have any idea how long she had been there?
She appeared to, okay, he said isolated area, pretty much what you see around you. So I'm backing him, you see a bunch of trees, a bunch of snow, it's a bunch of nothing that's out there. Then he say we follow tracks. Yeah, you can't see no tracks, and you will not be able to see no tracks in that. I doubt you will be able to see any human tracks in that. Look at all that snow back there. You telling me you saw tracks that you figured to be human? Like, come on, you found tracks. It's all a hoodwink story anyway. I'm just going off what they saying and how stupid they sound.
With that wound?
And some may say I sound stupid, but hey, you are a fool for believing this and looking at this and believing this. Especially that picture of her trying to tell us that's an 18-year-old woman and those two bad photos. Those two computer-generated photos. All right, yeah, y'all, you the fool.
It's still under investigation.
So when you found
Thank you.
her,
And I believe we
Let's get back to the chat room.
go ahead and show you guys a picture from the parking lot when we did first arrive here on scene, those number of law enforcement vehicles that we did find. I will tell you, earlier on this morning, we also did spend some time in the Fall River Road area, just off of I-70 on Fall River Road, which is just past Idaho Springs if you're traveling west, because there was some information leading to she was possibly in that area as well. I was able to talk to several neighbors that were in that area that said that they saw plenty of law enforcement vehicles within the last day circling around in that area as well. But once again, about 9 o'clock this morning here near Echo Lake Lodge, where there's also a lot of law enforcement and searching that went on in this area as well, they were able to find Sol Pais' body. Reporting live up in Clear Creek Canyon, Drew Engelbart, Fox 31.
Hey, Drew, I just want to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind. I know you've been following this, you've been tracking this, you were there for that news conference talking with police out there. Did they give any more information about how, what she was doing? Was she camping? What was,
How did she get up there?
Right. I mean, was she just there by herself in the middle of the woods, or did she have a campsite set up?
Yeah, I think, we were asking the sheriff those types of questions, and he said that's really part of what they're investigating next. Okay. How did she...
You see how the anchors are questioning how she got up there? Like, they even questioning themselves. Like, now they're doing some investigation reporting by asking those questions. I wish they would ask the sheriff that. The sheriff just said she just went up there by herself to the Clear Creek Lodge area, county area, went up to that lodge area, started walking. Later on, they probably released how long she been in that area. Because, it's fake news. They could just make up anything. Let's replay the questions by the anchors.
She get to Echo Lake Lodge? Yeah. She was doing what she...
You've been following this, you've been tracking this, you were there for that news conference talking with police out there. Did they give any more information about how, what she was doing? Was she camping? What was,
How did she get up there?
Right. I mean, was she just there by herself in the middle of the woods, or did she have a campsite set up?
Yeah, I think, we were asking the sheriff those types of questions, and he said that's really part of what they're investigating next.
Okay.
How did she get to Echo Lake Lodge? Did someone bring her up here? It did appear, the sheriff's office said that she did walk in by herself and only made it about a half a mile, as you heard from the sheriff, before they did find her body. So I'm not sure if it was a camping situation or if she was just walking up the canyon, up the trail a little ways before that self-inflicted gunshot wound. But I will tell you, it's very chilly up here. Earlier on, about an hour ago, it was snowing, not very hard, but we're up here in the mountains, so it's certainly chilly up here, not somewhere that you want to be without the proper clothing, without the proper attire.
Well, and I mean, to that point, I know this is weird, but other reports I've heard have said that she may have been unclothed. Did they confirm that, or any information about the clothing she was wearing?
We'd heard that as well, and they would not confirm that either way. We'd also heard possibly it was a ride-sharing service that she used to get to the lodge right here, and then was by herself the entire time. But that's just information that we know will come out as the investigation continues. But that is some of those things that we've heard throughout the morning up here.
All right, Drew Engelbart live for us up at Echo Lake Lodge. Thank you.
Well, Drew talked about that ride-sharing service.
Right.
I mean, we did, in fact, hear from the Jefferson County Sheriff talking about that in that news conference just minutes ago live here on Fox.
That's right. We are getting some new information from Colorado Gun Broker. They just sent out a message, and they are located down in Littleton, about 2 miles away from Columbine High School, and I want to read word for word.
You see, I can't spell that word necessarily. I'm hoping the spell check come up. Necessary. There we go.
And was given a clearance by both the NICS and the CBI. We had no reason to suspect she was a threat to either herself or anyone else. We are very sorry to hear of the outcome in this situation. It is never good when someone loses their life.
But they're saying they did a background check. She was given the clear to get a gun. She had a shotgun. She went to Clear Creek in Denver. In Colorado, she went to Clear Creek Lodge. She traveled around, walked in the woods, I guess, butt naked, took the shotgun and shot herself. End of story. You think it's the end of the story, but no. Next, we're going to see the agenda behind this propaganda, psychological Hocus event. But let's play the video because I'm about to end this.
We are praying for her family and are very thankful that this situation did not escalate into a public tragedy. Again, coming from Josh Rayburn with Colorado Gun Broker.
Well, and I gotta say, during our coverage this morning, one of the most prominent questions I heard from people on social media through our email was, how did this woman buy a gun? If the FBI was watching her in Miami and they notified the FBI here, we don't know the timeline of how all that played out, but why was she able to buy a gun so quickly?
She was able to buy a gun so quickly because that's Colorado laws. That's freedom. You can buy a gun and just get the gun. That's how it used to be all around America. Just go to the gun store, go to the gun store, pick out your gun, and you get it there on the spot. No background check, no ID needed, none of that. Now, the gun grab started way back when, maybe 30 plus years ago. The gun grab started when they got rid of fully automatic weapons ban. Then they started banning felons from having guns, which is very stupid. It's against the Second Amendment. It's against freedom, because no one owns your property but you. No one can tell you what to buy but you. Red flag laws, more gun control, more background, supposed universal background checks. They talk about closing loopholes on guns. They mean closing up freedom and closing up rights, closing up freedom. That's what they mean, closing loopholes. Continue the video. But they're going to change the laws to probably a 3-day wait, more extensive background, more mental health check. You got to be 21. Same thing they did in Florida. They want to do in Colorado. They want to do all over. Then eventually it's going to get to the point where everybody got a hand in your guns. And they're going to say, oh, gun control laws are not working, so everybody has a hand in their guns. It's going to get to that point. Trust me, the tomfoolery is going to get to that point.
If she was apparently being tracked by the FBI. And so obviously this gives a little bit of insight, at least into how the store itself handled that process, the fact that they did do the proper background checks. I know a lot of people that have told me about buying guns in recent past here in Colorado have said that sometimes that background check really just takes about an hour or so, maybe even less, to run the background checks, and then you can literally walk out of the store with a gun.
Interesting.
How it's supposed to be, literally walk out the store with a gun. It was never supposed to be background checks. Again, this gun grab, disarm the country, make them defenseless. And you can do whatever you want with laws then. You can do whatever you want to people. You can take whoever kids. You can do whatever you want. Once you get the guns, the leadership can do whatever they want to the people. Oppress them however they want. They ain't gotta trick nobody into believing something with these fake shootings and fake events. After that, they can just do whatever they want because you're so defenseless.
I do want to pop this up. This is from a tweet from the governor just moments ago.
Yeah, reaction pouring in as the news.
Oh yeah, someone in the chat researched the word soul. So I'm glad there's other awakened people in the chat room that question everything. S-O-L means son. I haven't researched her last name, but someone in the chat researched her first name. It means son. Son worship is roots to pagan demonic worship. So you know what the devil likes to do: deceive people, trickery, illusions. And if you don't know that humans work with the devil and work in illusions and work with wickedness in high places, too bad for you. You're the fool. Play the video.
News of 18-year-old Sol Pais found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Governor Polis tweeting this out saying, as confirmed by the FBI, Sol Pais has been found deceased and the potential threat is over. It's times like these that help us appreciate friendship, family, and community. Today, parents across Colorado, including me, are hugging their children a little again from Governor.
They were 20 years ago, and frankly, I think things are different today than they were 5 years ago.
And we're going to end on that note. Things are different today than they were 20 years ago. Things were different today than they were 5 years ago. Well, yeah, they stiffening up the psyops. They bringing the fake news even harder. They're speeding things up for whatever reason. Well, yeah, you're less free. That's what difference. You have no rights from 20 years ago, from 5 years ago. Yeah, you got that on the head. So we're gonna end the play back there. You can look at the comments. Last comment was good day. Someone said, or CO said, red flag laws should not and cannot be allowed to override the Constitution. Due process, whatever the other word is. Of course, red flag laws shouldn't override the Constitution. No law should. There shouldn't be no laws in place saying we're going to take your freedoms away, and people don't understand that. And people don't understand how wicked leadership can be and how deceitful and hoodwink leadership can be on the masses, how they can just hoodwink the masses into thinking this and that way. I mean, I know y'all understand what I'm saying, though, you know. Let's recap, because I'm ending this video. Let's recap. How did we say her name again? I'm saying Saul. Yeah, I'm fucking up. I gotta remember her name. Let's go back to how we pronounce her name.
Procedures that are in play.
And we will continue in as the news.
To run the background checks, and then you can literally walk out of the store with a gun.
Interesting.
I do want to pop this up. This is from a tweet from the governor just moments ago.
Yeah, reaction pouring in as the news of 18-year-old Sol Pais found dead.
Okay, Sol Pais, let's recap. Sol Pais found dead from Miami, Florida, Miami. Went to Miami Beach Senior High School. She was 18 years old. Traveled to Colorado, you can buy a gun at 18 years old. Background check only takes an hour. Miami, you cannot buy a gun at 18. You have to be 21 or older. Background check takes 3 days. You can't you can't buy certain weapons. Traveled to Colorado, she bought a gun. She went to a place called Clear Creek County. That's a tongue twister. Clear Creek County, went to Clear Creek Lodge. She went in the woods. She was naked, traveled through the woods, shot herself. Police found her at 9:51 their time. They got there at 9 o'clock their time. Found her at 9:51. Found her dead of a gunshot wound to the head or to wherever. And that's basically it. That's basically it. She was infatuated with Columbine shooting. She had a dark website which had demonic signs on it. Had some writing she did about Columbine, about guns, about suicide. That's basically it, people. That's the hoax. That's the hoax. The whole hoax just to raise the age limit in Colorado to 20-something years of age, to do longer background checks, and to probably restrict certain weapons. But that's the whole hoax. You'll see gun control agenda come out tomorrow in the coming days. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. This has been Awkward Occurrence. Forgive the stuttering. I know we aren't used to doing commentary on the news, but practice makes perfect. And thanks again for tuning in.